Hi, everyone. I'm Amuri Amin, and welcome back to The Inner Eyes. We're now on episode 6. Have you ever told yourself, I'm just tired? Not physically, but emotionally. Where feeling anything just feels like too much. So instead, you don't feel at all. Dorothy has made a choice. She stepped off the edge of uncertainty. She helped the scarecrow down. She kept moving. And now she meets the next part of herself. They're walking along the yellow brick road, still adjusting, still becoming. And then they hear something, a faint cry, not loud, not urgent, but persistent. And they follow that sound and they find him standing still, completely frozen, a man made of tin, unable to move, unable to function. And at first glance, he feels and he looks broken, but he's not broken. He's just locked. Rust. That's what happens when something is exposed and left unattended. Over time, it hardens, it restricts movement, it freezes what was once fluid. Emotion works the same way: pain, loss, betrayal, disappointment. And if those emotions aren't processed, they don't disappear, they settle, they harden, and eventually they stop your ability to move freely. Dorothy doesn't force him, she doesn't rush him, she uses oil, slowly, joint by joint. Because healing doesn't happen all at once, it happens in small releases, a little here, a little there, until what was frozen begins to move again. But now let's go deeper, because the Tin Man wasn't always like this. He was once human, a woodsman, a munchkin, and he loved someone. But the one he loved was connected to the Witch of the East, and that love was not allowed. Now, stay with me here, because this isn't just about love. This is about what happens when you begin to change, when you begin to move towards something different, something more aligned. Because sometimes the resistance doesn't just come from others, it comes from within. The witch places an enchantment on his axe, and every time she swings it, every time he swings it, he cuts off part of himself. And each time he loses a part, it's replaced with 10. Cold, hard, unfeeling. This is what self sabotage looks like. You start moving towards something meaningful, and something in you just cuts it off. You try to love, but fear steps in. You try to grow, but old habits return. You try to become, but something says stay right where you are. And each time that happens, you lose a piece of yourself, not physically, but emotionally, until eventually there's nothing left that feels. The last thing he loses is his heart. And once that's gone, he becomes fully encased, protected, but empty. So when Dorothy finds him frozen, this didn't just happen overnight. This was a process, a series of moments where parts of him were cut away. And now here he is, not broken, but the result of repeated disconnection. He believes he doesn't have a heart because he can't feel. But the truth is, he feels deeply. That's why he had to shut it down. The absence of feeling is not the absence of a heart, it's the presence of protection, an encasement that surrounds, that layers, that grows to keep you inward. And then there's another layer to this. In The Wiz, the Tin Man sings, what would I do if I could feel? That last note was a little flat. But in that song, you hear something deeper than words. You hear a longing. He talks about what he would do if he could feel again, to love, to connect, to experience life fully. There's a dream in him, a memory of something he once had, and a quiet hope that it is still possible. But here's the part that matters: he doesn't know how to get it back. He can imagine it, he can speak about it, he can see it in his dreams. He can even sing about it, but he can't access it. And so instead, he performs. He becomes light, playful, even humorous, the kind of person people enjoy being around. But that version isn't the full truth because sometimes what looks like joy on the outside is protection on the inside. Sometimes the life of the party is the one that feels the most disconnected. Because if you keep things light, if you never have to go deep, this is where many people get stuck. Vulnerability starts to feel like a liability, like something that will expose you, something that will make you weak, something that will cost you. But vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a doorway back. It's the very thing that reconnects you to your heart. And even though he can't feel, something inside of him desires to. And that desire is the beginning of the return. Now, here's where it shifts. The Tin Man doesn't regain his heart immediately, he joins the journey without proof. And just like the scarecrow, he moves before he feels complete. Dorothy witnessing and again watching, learning, becoming. First the mind, now the heart. Because awakening isn't just about thinking differently, it's about allowing yourself to feel again. And feeling again means risking pain. You cannot selectively numb your life. When you shut down pain, you shut down everything. So if you've been feeling numb, if you've been feeling disconnected, if you've been moving but not really living, you're not broken. You're protected. But protection was never meant to be permanent. It was never meant to be a permanent cast over your body, over your mind, over your heart. The 10 men thought he lost his heart, but really, he just forgot how to access it. And this is the inner eyes. This is where the journey isn't about finding your way, it's about feeling your way home. And I will see you next time on the yellow brick road.